If you love decorating for the holidays, but you just don't have a lot of storage space, then today I have the perfect project for you. We're going to be making a felt banner where you can rearrange the letters to say anything that you want. I love how this came out. I will definitely be using this for a ton of holidays moving forward, so here's how to do it. So you'll obviously want to start with a variety of colors of felt. I'd recommend keeping your felt within the same color family, so I went with a lot of pinks and purples and then this yellow to brighten it up. I feel like these colors can work for pretty much any holiday. Well, I mean, maybe not St. Patrick's Day. You'll also need to print out the pattern, which has every letter as well as a page of symbols and all of the numbers, so I've got you covered. So go ahead and choose what letter you want to make first. I'm going to be making an E out of this pink felt. In the pattern, you can see that we have two lines, an inner line and an outer line. The inner line is just for reference. That's what the letters looked like when I first typed them. And then the outer line is the outline that I added because we need a little bit of extra room on the edges when cutting these out of felt. So go ahead and cut that out on this outer black line. So once you have that traced, we're just going to flip it over so that we're looking at the back of the pattern, and we're going to trace it again. So now we should have two E's that are mirror images of each other. Now, before we start sewing, we actually need to add a hanger to the top. So open these up like a book and grab a piece of string. Try to make this a light colored string because if it's too dark, you might be able to see it through the felt. Cut off a piece that is, I don't know, like an inch or two long. So I'm just going to put down 2 lines of glue and then press the hanger into place. So it should look something like that. Just let it dry and then we'll get to the sewing. So once that has dried enough that it's not sticky anymore and it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, we can start sewing. Just layer your other letter right on top, making sure that the sides with the pencil are facing towards the inside. Line those up as best you can, and then we're just gonna sew all the way around the edge of the entire thing. When you're sewing, use a similar thread color to your fabric color, and just keep raising the presser foot and turning your shape every time that you hit a corner. So once you're done sewing, it should look something like this. Just trim any hanging threads and then trim any spots where the felt doesn't quite line up or where the border is a little uneven. And there you go, 1 letter down, 25 left to go. So obviously some letters will be more complicated than others. The E was pretty easy because it's all straight lines. I guess the A is also all straight lines, but whenever you have an inside shape like this, you're gonna want to sew that first. And you might also want to clip the edges together while you sew that inside shape so that the 2 layers stay even. Once you have the inside sewn, then you can go ahead and sew around the edge. And then, of course, as you can see, some letters just have a lot going on. So with this R, we have the inside shape, and of course, we have this curve. So when I'm sewing on a curve, I basically just sew maybe like 2 or 3 stitches and then pull up the presser foot turn it a little bit, sew another few stitches, and keep going. Don't worry if it's not totally perfect. I mean, this is meant to look handmade. So besides the R, I would say the S is probably the most complicated because we have all of these curves. I also made an ampersand, which is pretty complicated. There's a lot going on here. But in making these, I definitely feel like I got much better with my sewing machine. So this is really great sewing practice. And there we go, a full alphabet. Look at how cute that looks. Of course, you'll want to make duplicates for common letters, depending on what phrases you're trying to spell. And I'd also recommend keeping your patterns so that if you're making a banner and you realize you need one more letter, you can just quickly whip one more up. So to actually turn these into a banner, first decide what phrase you're gonna make, then grab some string and cut a nice long piece. And now we're going to loop it twice through the hanger that we put in before, and that'll give it enough friction that it'll stay in place. You might have noticed that for letters that have two stems coming up to the top, I added 2 hangers, and so we're just gonna loop the string through both of them. And there we go! Look at how cute that is! You can tie loops in the end of the string to be able to hang it up. And once you're ready to change out the phrase, you can just take the string off of the letters and then make any phrase that you can think of. So let me show you a few examples. So what do you think? Would you make one of these? It is kind of a lot of work up front, but now I can make a custom banner saying literally anything I want. So I'd love to know in a comment, would you make one of these? What would you want your banner to say? Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Handmade for more DIY videos every single week. And I will see you all in the next one.